Hey, Trish. How's it going?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
I'm good. Good.
We've sat here, y'all, and carried on before we got on air long enough to do a separate podcast, but we kind of had to get some of that out of the way. Welcome to What I Know So Far, everybody. I'm Trish Suhr, along with the very beautiful and always sparkling in white Karen Mills.
Yes, always in white, aren't I?
You are, but
why.
I love that. You can wear every shade of white on cream on beige on ivory, and it just always looks so elevated. That's like your signature look. And
My
I'm here for it.
signature. Well, particularly in the summer.
Well, yeah, I think we all should. I should probably start doing that.
But, I love white. It's my favorite non-color.
I know I get very upset. I always say white's my favorite color. And of course, my best friend Sabrina Soto is a designer, and she has trained her 9-year-old daughter to say, Aunt Trish, white is the absent of color. It's not a color. Fine. I love the absence of color. I like the way white looks. Thanks, Kay.
But I also love color. It's just,
I love color.
I do too. And sometimes I need a little more of it. Your cheeks are so rosy now, I could use a little more.
Girl, I did some tutorial on, I just moved my hair back if you're not watching us on YouTube. I did a tutorial on Instagram that let me know I needed to be wearing my blush up, back, and higher on account of I'm not 20 anymore. I was like, okay, don't come at me hard.
Face up,
Lift my whole face up.
Yeah.
I know. Dude, you're doing fine. The doodles here, everybody, in case you hear weird whining. Karen and I, it's not a show unless the dogs show up. So.
No, that's all right. Mine are sleeping right now. We'll see
How
how long that lasts. I'm expecting a delivery, so if everything blows up, you'll know why.
We'll know why. Yeah, isn't it always the way? I know Amazon has already come, and so is our Costco delivery, which, by the way, if you have not started delivering Costco to your house, what are you doing with your life? You can do it on Instacart. I get anxiety going into a Costco. I don't know if anybody else does. Oh, you do, too?
Mm-hmm. I do, too.
That makes me happy. I thought it was just me that did that. Dude, you're fine. So I get anxiety, and then I found out they do same-day Instacart with the Costco.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
I would do more if I knew that.
Listen, they do it everywhere. So I'm telling y'all right now, you're welcome. I shouldn't say everywhere. You might be in a smaller rural area, forgive me, and that doesn't get it. But for the most part, in most major areas, they do same-day delivery through Instacart, and it has changed my whole life. What a joy. I love Costco. If you don't, I would own everything from a Costco, like even breeches. Like if they would start bringing me different sizes of pants, which they might, I've not tried.
They might. Wait, let you try them on, send them back the ones.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing these. If you could just take these back, they weren't as cute as I thought.
Yeah, if you could just hang tight for 1 second.
One quick minute. Thank you. I love a Costco, y'all. So now my life is better, and our Costco deliveries already come complete with dog treats and, organic eggs.
Yeah, I bet they love a Costco delivery too. They know
they know.
Greenies in there probably.
See the shenanigans with my dogs and their greenies. And yes, you're right. That's true. Karen came up with a great episode idea today. Okay? I love when you have these moments.
I don't have many, but...
You do. You're just always busy, so that when you actually have the time to go, hey, girl, I thought about this. And I was like, that's genius. So,
well, and you would think that we would know everything there is to know about each other as much as we've been together, but there's still things I don't know. And so I thought it'd be fun for us to ask each other a few questions about things that we don't know, and then everyone else can learn at the same time exactly, how deep our dig goes.
And to be fair, I don't know what Karen's going to ask me. She doesn't know what I'm going to ask her. So these will be fun and exciting. And I wrote down questions because Kay was like, hey, you want to do this? I was like, yeah. So if some of them are just, you could say pass because I wrote down more than 3. We're doing 3 each. I wrote down more than 3 in case you were like, I don't know, pass. Like, 'cause I was like, I don't know.
Okay. We'll do a pass, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have a pass in here. So, and I actually had one in here I wrote for you. I don't know what yours is, but mine involves you. So meaning like I wrote this question for you, and then I was like, let me think about that for me. And I was like, that involves Karen. So I'm excited to ask you that particular one.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Okay. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, I know you grew up in the funeral home business, but
Yes.
I am curious if you, I don't know at what age you started being around like dead bodies. Did you ever get the jeebies around that? That's just very unique. I don't think that many people have experienced being in the funeral home business, and I'm just curious.
That's a great question. What? I don't think anyone in all the years, all the podcasting, all my friends that even grew, no one's ever asked me that. That's a great question, Kay. Good for you. I know I've been around him since I was super, super small. Like I can tell you, first real memory was 5 years old.
Oh,
but,
wow.
But I'm sure I was around him younger because they were probably like, she won't remember. Country people, they'll even have little kids hold cigarettes for them. Like back then, they'd be like, yeah, she's fine. So I don't remember how long, but I do remember the memory that sticks out was my Uncle Bill had to get me to just like a tap class, like a dance tap. They stick all these little children in tap shoes. I hated dance class because I'm not coordinated like that. And he had to take me, and he stopped on the way because they got a death call to let him know he'd come back. Because it's not like they're gonna. He had to drop me off and be like, "Don't worry, I'll come right back." Because he was young. I mean, I was probably 5. Let's see, he had just started apprenticing at the funeral home. He might have been 17. He might have been 17.
wow.
He wasn't a full. So, it was just more of like a, hey, I'll be right back to help. It was not, let me be fair. There was somebody else already tending to the situation. It wasn't like Uncle Bill was like, oh, y'all got somebody dead. I'll be back. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was that we already had people there tending to it. But he was like, I could just drop Trish off. But he wasn't going to leave me in the car running, which is like just crazy to me. Because in the 80s, everybody left kids in the car with the car running.
Yeah, well, the car run. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, he was like, well, come on. And so I remember going in there and I thought, oh, okay. Like it was the first time I'd seen, for me, somebody outside the funeral home, right? I'd seen bodies before at the funeral home, and that I was aware they're no longer with us and all that had been explained. But it was the first time I'd seen like kind of origin story of where bodies, you know what I mean? Like how'd they get to here? I didn't really think that part through.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the first time, and I was in full like ballet wear. I remember walking in thinking, I'm not dressed for this at 5. Like that was my takeaway of like tip tap. I already had the tap shoes on.
Yeah, I don't want to annoy the corpse.
Yeah, right. And everybody, excuse me, like realizing, oh, probably not how I should be in here. But everybody was lovely, and I remember him picking me up, scooping me up, so my little tap shoes. I thought he was doing it to be sweet. He was probably doing it so my loud tap shoes weren't like clink, clack, clink. But yeah, that was it. I'd say about 5. And then, which also makes you realize too, I think, how much you realize, for me anyway, that grief was like a real, as a little kid, I started going, oh, like people don't like come back. You know what? Like I had to really realize, like, oh, that person's real sad, because for me as a little kid, they've known them a long time because they've been alive a long time, right? In my 5-year-old brain, if I saw an adult sad, I thought, oh, they're sad because they've been alive a long time too. Because I would be sad, but I wouldn't get like distraught.
Yeah.
And my family was so good about saying to me, everybody grieves different. Don't be upset that you're not as upset as they are. Because I would get upset that I was not as upset as somebody else. And so they beautifully did a job of explaining to me grief happens different all the time, every time, for everybody.
Well, and whether you're 5 or 65, I mean,
That's right.
you grieve differently. We all do.
Yeah. And I thought
some
that
people
was,
want to be surrounded with people, and some people want to be left alone. I mean, it's just who knows.
And the phases hit you different. Sometimes you cry, sometimes you don't. It's a very interesting, and there's no bad way. I recently, Sabrina won't mind me telling this, Sabrina had someone very close to us pass away unexpectedly, only 55 years old. And Olivia, her 9-year-old daughter, knew this person very well, known her whole life, all her 9 years. And Olivia was really worried that she didn't get really sad like her mom did. And so Sabrina's very sweetly said, well, why don't you ask Aunt Trish about that? Because she grew up around funeral business. And Sabrina had explained what the funeral business was to her. And she was like, oh, okay. So Olivia asks me, and I thought, gosh, this kid has such a high emotional EQ. 9 years old. She said, Aunt Trish, I just didn't get upset like Mom did. And I want to know if there's something wrong with me. And I said, oh, baby, no. I was like, everybody does it different. Grief's like a snowflake. I was like, you know about snowflakes? And I told her, and she goes, yeah. And I said, so it's not wrong. I said, I'm sure you were sad. And she goes, I was. And she was explaining it to me. And she goes, but there's nothing wrong with me. I said, no, baby. And I said, it'll happen. Sometimes you might just get sad out of nowhere about something, and that's okay. And so I think it's really powerful to explain and not make it some weird mystery thing to kids, which my family did a beautiful job of. And I have a lot of empathy and grace for everybody not doing it the same. Grief.
Sure.
So I know that's very different than dead bodies, because dead bodies to me, I'm always like, oh, you're at a higher place now. Now you're just, we take care of and honor the body, but now.
You never got any jeebies around dead bodies?
No. Now, let me tell you something. There've always been situations where you're like, it's part of it. Like if you're just not used to being around it, I think when you're younger, obviously, I wasn't as used to it as I am now, but I definitely would be like, okay. Like, I caught myself sing-talking to the deceased. What is that? I'm like, hope you're okay. Like, when I was dropping stuff off in the embalming room, like, why am I doing that? Like, I would catch myself at a young age sing-talking. I'm like, you've got a boo-boo. I don't know why I would sing-talk, but I think it was my management skill as a child.
Right.
To make sure they were okay.
I actually... when I first went to a funeral and of someone I'd been to them as a kid, of people I didn't really know that well, but that my parents did. But when I actually went to the funeral of someone I was close to, and it gives me so much anxiety, because I bottle up emotion, and so I just dread it so badly because I want to keep things together. And but I remember just going in with so much dread, and then when I saw the body, I was just like, that's just the shell. I mean, the spirit is gone.
That's right.
And it has such a different feeling about it then. I mean, I just didn't see it the same way. It's not like, that's my friend in there. That's right. No, that's where my friend lived for however many years, and now my friend is
That's such a beautiful, Kay, that's such an evolved, beautiful way. I try to explain that to a lot of people, and I heard it long ago. I certainly didn't come up with this statement, but we have the level of grief and sadness we have, or discomfort, is usually for the ungiven love we have for somebody, like the love we still have to give for them. And I think that's such a beautiful expression of what it is, because you get so kind of like freaked out, and oh my gosh, I'm going to see him in this state, and then you're like, oh, well, that ain't you. Like, it's almost like this weird peace to me, to some degree. It is. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That you're like,
I mean, you'd still be sad that person's no longer with us. But there's a peace about it in a way that you don't feel like you're putting your friend in the ground or something. I mean,
exactly.
It's that, no.
Totally.
Yeah, Elvis has left the building.
Elvis is exactly right. Where you're like, honey, you're doing better than all of us.
Yeah, fly high, honey.
Yes. You're off to the races in the best kind of way.
That's right.
I know. When you learn it young, I think there's something really powerful to it. So that's such a good question, because no one has ever asked me that.
Well,
look at you. You're Barbara Walters.
I am. Lean in.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you the one that I relate to you first, because... And by the way, this is not setting you up to have to be the one with me. It just made me think of you. When was the last time that you laughed so hard you cried, and what happened?
When was the last time I laughed so hard I cried, and what happened?
I know. And it doesn't even have to be something crazy, because I was thinking about this with you, because you make me laugh that hard. But then I was like, what? And I thought about it for myself. And then when I thought about it, I really had to think about it. I remembered what it was. And it was so funny, because for me, I want to hear yours, but I want to tell you what triggered me. For you was when you and I found the video of Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig doing "You Can Get Out of Here." I have cried. My stomach hurt crying, laughing, and it was Karen Mills. I'll put a link to it in the show notes.
That was even today when if I feel sad or down, I'll pull up Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell at the Golden Globes presenting and
Best Picture.
Laugh so hard. And then you and I got up in High Point, North Carolina.
Yes! and improv'd it.
Yeah, improv'd it.
They wanted us to karaoke, and Karen and I were like, we're not karaoke, but we can do this. And I was Will Ferrell, and you were Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
And I to this day, we were in High Point, North Carolina, at a weird karaoke bar after the show. And I could not get my breath because when you see it, y'all, Will Ferrell, and the whole premise was Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig had to present all 5 of the Best Picture nominees. And we're saying you're going to see them throughout the night. And of course we watched all 5. They were like, of course, naturally. And so as they started naming each Best Picture, they were giving a quick synopsis. And very quickly you realize they have seen none of them.
Yeah.
And so they're improving the synopsis.
And every one of them ended with, you get out of here. And they wrote in on it was a crazy mess. I need to go back and watch it again, but it was so funny.
It's possibly one of the best examples of improv, of a yes and, a repeat and agree and go with the scene that I have ever seen in my lifetime. And I was in an improv group for years. And I will tell you, it's one of the funniest things in the world. Like, my stomach hurts thinking about it because Karen had me and you never broke. Karen Mills is the ultimate straight man. You never broke when we were on that stage. Just like Will Ferrell, just like Kristen Wiig, I was breaking like Will Ferrell because Will Ferrell had done enough. And Karen just kept it straight, Lucy, when she's like, and then Judy then she said, you get out of here.
And Meryl Streep, she wrote in on
and she wrote it on that. And then
it was Silver Linings Playbook and Bridges of Madison County, maybe. Was that? Yeah, I can't remember all the Best Pictures.
We'll find it for you.
Definitely put a link to that clip. And
so
if
you
just want to laugh hard, you go and check out that clip. It is so hilarious.
It's one of my single favorite.
And of course, there's nothing Kristen Wiig does that doesn't kill me. But
Kristen Wiig, okay. I was at I don't want to say dinner party, like a get together at a friend's house. I think I told you this. Did I tell you?
Did. You did tell me that.
And I don't care about celebrity. Karen knows that. I mean, I'm great. If you're a good person, I just think you're neat. I don't care. If you happen to be someone we know, cool. But Kristen was there, and I had to take deep breaths to not fangirl. For 2 reasons. One, she's one of the funniest human beings on planet Earth. Number 2, she is a design nerd like myself. Like, if I had Kristen Wiig money, I too would do what Kristen Wiig does. She buys case houses, which are like done by architects, and like, it's like basically collecting human-sized dollhouses, right? It's amazing. So she's really into design, and she's really good at it too. So we were having this crazy conversation about design and architect, and I'm like, is this my whole real life? Like, just a cool human being. And she's chasing her little baby children, and just sweet and fun. Like, she was a really cool person.
And I don't think I could have even walked up to her without going, you get out of here. It was all you had, I know.
Hey, do you know how many times I was like, Trish, don't do it. Because I was because she's such an expressive, just naturally as a human being, how she talks is expressive. So she will hold looks, and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Because she would do something, and she goes, and I'm like, yes,
you get out of here.
You get out of here. Oh. Yeah,
so
she's
fun.
But it was exciting because I didn't know she was going to be. I knew nothing about her being friends with our friends and vice versa. So I was like, oh darn, you don't want to meet someone you like because you're worried they're not going to be awesome. She was amazing.
That actually leads me into one of your questions, which is that you've lived in LA since you were what age? 22, and you've run into a lot of stars and been around and worked with a lot, and who have you been the most starstruck by, if anybody, that you've met?
That's a great question. I don't really ever get starstruck. I was excited by Kristen because I didn't know she was going to be there, and I have a lot of reverence for her. Who was I starstruck? Oh, the only one I could ever say, the story, Dolly Parton.
I thought it had to be. I thought it had to be that.
Yeah, I could care less. I shouldn't say care less. I've met some of the most amazing talents, music, everybody.
Well, and it might be someone you revere, but to be starstruck by somebody is a whole different thing.
Correct.
And that usually doesn't happen when you're in the business. But occasionally, I might. If I met a couple of people, I would feel that way. So tell us that story.
Oh, y'all. Okay. If I cry, I'm sorry. I'm starting to tell the story on stage now. So if you come to a show and you hear this again, sorry, because I'm telling it now. Gosh, the story. My whole life I've wanted to meet Dolly Parton. I'm probably going to cry telling this. And I don't know any good Southern woman that hasn't, but I grew up right like 45 minutes north of Sevierville, where she's from. So like I have an affinity to Dolly that is so...
You have a proximity to Dolly as well.
Yes, proximity met affinity, where I was like, she's the reason I believed I could, really and truthfully. And my family and Carol Burnett, those are the people that made me think, you know what, maybe I can do this. I didn't even know what this was, but I was like, I want to do this. And I wanted to get a work permit back in the day when she bought Silver Dollar City, which is now Dollywood. That's how old school mountain person I am. Okay, y'all, because before Dollywood was Dollywood, it was Silver Dollar City.
Silver Dollar City. I've been there too.
Right, and I loved going. I thought I was somebody when my papa took me to Silver Dollar City. So she buys Dollywood, and I think, oh my gosh, everybody said her office, this is probably a complete lie. They said her office was going past the corn dog cart, so she loved corn dogs. I'm sure she said that to just sell corn dogs at Dollywood. Because she's a businesswoman first, let's be honest.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm going to get me a job at the corn dog cart at Dollywood so I can meet Dolly. Got a work permit, got my license, drove over to Pigeon Forge, filled out the paperwork, and they were like, no, that job's taken. I was like, no, I don't want to. So back to the funeral home I went to help out, because I was like, I'm not doing it unless it's Dolly adjacent. So I've been like almost near her at events, all these things in my life, right? I've seen her in concert. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's almost 30 times. Like if there was a way to see Dolly, I made sure I got to see Dolly. Cut to 2017. I was having a day in my life that I thought my life was like, it was one of those where I was like, I'm going to leave the entertainment business. Why have I chosen this? Most people that work in the entertainment business, whatever they've chosen, go through a day of like, why am I doing this? I'm going to move and be a goat herder in New Zealand. Like what
I did yesterday.
See, you receive it. What happens? I have one at least monthly. I do.
At least.
And so this was one of those days that I was like, this is it. I'm done with the entertainment business. I'll see if there's room at the funeral home, if they've got room for me. And I was lovely invited by the women at Variety, the publishers at Variety that I happen to know, because they're good friends of mine, to this. It was Emmy weekend. So in Los Angeles, during the primetime Emmys, they do a big weekend of the Emmys where there's all these hoop-de-doo parties and everybody gets to go. And the only reason I was invited was because I happen to be friends with the editors. And people are like, you have an Emmy. I have a daytime Emmy. Those are not as important as primetime Emmys. It's still an
great,
Emmy,
though.
And I'm tickled by it, but please know they don't invite everybody from the daytime Emmys to the primetime Emmy parties. This is what I'm saying. So I was so grateful they invited me, and it was at this restaurant that's still in Los Angeles called Gracias Madre, which is a amazing Mexican food, but it's all it's plant-based, so I can eat it because I'm allergic to dairy. So I was like, oh, okay. Plus, I can at least eat my sorrows away on dairy-free empanadas. Like, I was like, fine. And I didn't want to go, and one of my very best friends, who used to be an amazing writer now, but used to be a huge publicist at, like, Warner Brothers, huge. He was like, girl, we're going. Quit being a sad Sally. Get your hair done. Look, we're going. I was like, I don't want to go. He's like, we're going. So I throw on a dress. I go to the dry bar and get my hair done. They jacked my hair to Jesus. Y'all, I look like I was ready for a pageant. Like, I was like, I don't even look like myself. It's fine. Another thing about me is I do not drink at work events. I love a gorgeous glass of champagne and I love a margarita, but when I'm at a work event, I have a club soda with a lime in it and fake it till I make it, because two things. I like to have my wits about me, and two, I don't like talking to anybody with alcohol breath. To me, it is such a turnoff that I don't want to be that person with alcohol breath talking to anybody. That is just my personal me. But I was having a day. So, sweet Josh hands me a skinny margarita from the tray pass server coming by, and he goes, you need this. You are a sad Sally, and you have a sad puss on your face. You look sad. And I was like, I'm not drinking. He goes, drink it. And so I just sucked down this skinny margarita like in 2 seconds because it was all ice. And I was like, I don't feel any better. And he grabs one off of a tray coming by again. He goes, then have another. So there's nobody at the party. We're there early. And this is Variety's Women in Entertainment event. It's the big hoop-de-doo of the year. Reese Witherspoon was going to be there. Like everybody that I really like, that I was like, oh, that'd be nice. And people that I enjoy. And I was like, okay, I'll go. Well, I'm standing there. I put my purse down and my phone down. And I'm sucking down this second margarita thinking, what have I done? I shouldn't have left the house. I probably do have bad energy. Like I'm upset at myself. And right as I say that, I'm like sucking this straw out of the corner of my eye. I see this blonde cotton top, like just this little like effort, almost looks like a fairy had floated by. It wasn't like I heard footsteps. Music's playing. By the way, it was Fleetwood Mac. And it's like, I see this fairy float by. We're in this big outdoor Spanish courtyard with all this cool lighting. And I look over and Josh goes, that's Dolly Parton. And it was like everything from this moment on, y'all, happened in slow motion. And what I'm about to tell you happens in 90 seconds. But for me, it felt like it was 6 hours. Okay. He goes, it's Dolly Parton. He takes the drink out of my hand and goes, it's go time. Come on. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I panic that I have alcohol breath, right? Immediately. I go, I can't, I have alcohol breath. And he literally just about choked me throwing an Altoid. Like, I don't even know where he got the Altoid. It just flew into my mouth. I'm like, and he's dragging me by a hand. And we get over there, and before I know what's up, Dolly's by herself. Not a handler, nobody with her. This is very rare, everybody. And she comes right in, and she goes and sits on these little banquettes all to the side by herself. And Josh pops right up to her, and he goes, Miss Parton. And she goes, oh, Dolly. Like, as it, like they've been friends 20 years. And he said, Dolly, he goes, I just wanted to say, I adore you. I feel like you're my fairy godmother because we have the same birthday, which is not a lie. They both, January 19th. He walks up and says this just as effervescent, and he's been in PR at major studios for years, so he was not, and he's got many pictures with Dolly. And he goes, I just want you to know I feel like you're my fairy godmother. And she said, well, honey, I am. What is happening? And he's dragging me still by, he's got me by the wrist, and I'm like faced away because I'm like, I don't even know how to handle this. And he goes, the real reason I came over is I wanted to introduce you to my friend Trish. She's from your neck of the woods. And I'm like, what's happening? I don't even know like how to speak words. You think you're going to be like, hi, Dolly, I love you. No, I turned around and I'm like, like weird sounds came out. And she puts her hand out and she goes, whereabouts are you from? And puts her hand out to like shake my hand. And I see the butterfly ring. She's in all black. She looks like just a glamorous goddess. And all I can muster out of my mouth, Karen, was the Gap. That's what I get out. Where we're from is the Cumberland Gap, like that part of the country. It's all I can get out my mouth. I couldn't say Smoky Mountains. I just said the Gap. That's what comes out. And she scoots over and goes, honey, sit down. And literally, and has still not let go of my hand, by the way. I'm having a full out-of-body experience because I'm like, I don't want to smell like alcohol next to Dolly Parton, number one. But I think now I smell like that cinnamon Altoid, so I feel better about myself. And I'm like glass-eyed because she's holding my hand, and all I can look at is that big old beautiful butterfly, becrusted, jeweled ring. And I'm like, oh my. And I sit down. And so now I'm sitting with her facing this party because we've got our backs to this banquette that's built into a wall. And we're looking at this party. And I remember thinking, what am I doing here? Like, I thought that as I'm holding her hand going, is this my real life? And she squeezes my hand, looks at me and kind of looks out. And I'm not looking at her. It's like I'm scared to look at Dolly Parton. I don't know why. And she goes, can you believe we're sitting here? 2 little girls from the mountains just sitting here and all this? And I'm like, did she just include, like, I can't believe, A, she's included me in what she's just said. B, that she's so humble and kind that she still thinks that way of herself. And C, that we're sitting in this moment and she's letting it be a moment. Dolly knows exactly who Dolly is, and she is constantly at that level of grace. That's
and
what I
knows how much that means to you.
And knows how it changed my life.
Yeah.
That moment was going to be life-changing. She's so aware of who she is that she knew, I'll be telling this story till the day God takes me off this earth, honey. because it changed my whole life. Because I didn't say was before I got ready to go that night, I said, I literally got on my knees and prayed. I pray all the time, but I don't get on my knees and pray. I got on my knees and I was like, God, if you want me to keep doing all this, you have to give me a sign so clear I can't mistake it or talk my way out of it. That's what I said before when Josh called and said, you need to go, and that lady jacked my hair up at the dry bar, and we got all the things that led up to it. It was give me a clear, unmistakable sign. Well, here I sit holding hands with Dolly Parton at this event, and she says, can you believe us two little girls from the mountains are sitting out hearing all this? And I'm like, well, there's my clear and unmistakable sign.
Yeah, I can't mistake that.
And sitting right in front of me was this weird, not weird, a big, one of the vendors, I guess, for this event was Halo Top ice cream. Right, so it's Halo Top, which is like the 230 calories for the whole pint.
Yeah.
But what's sitting in front of me was this big halo. Right, they had this big neon halo with these stacks of ice cream, and then these hot dudes with angel wings on passing out ice cream. Which I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. Dolly Parton's holding my hand.
Yeah, right.
But I see this big halo, holding hands with Dolly, and I just said, thank you so much. I said, because of you, I believe I can. And she's like, well, you're going to. Like, what in God's name? And I'm sitting there about to stroke out. Mind you, this whole thing took 90 seconds. And Josh gets up and says, Miss Parton, would you mind if we all took a picture? She said, only if you call me Dolly. And he said, well, yes, Dolly. He goes, we would love that. So he takes a picture of the three of us. And then he said, can I get one of you and Trish? She said, I would love that. Y'all, we were in like a dark corner. It wasn't like there was any light, nothing. It was, what year was that? It was probably iPhone generation 8. It wasn't like world's best camera.
Right.
And when you see the photo, I'm staring off into space because I'm in shock. And Dolly's like lit and purple and pink. Like there's all these colors coming in, and there was nothing there. It was very dark. That's what I try to explain to people. Like that was literally the aura of Dolly because it was a dark corner. There was no reason for that light to be there. And I was like, okay. And so I just said, thank you. It was like people started realizing she was there. So you see all people starting to come and swarm and come over. And I was like, okay, our time is done. I got it. I read the room. And as
but you had that moment.
Yeah, I got it. And she's holding my hand. And I said, thank you so much. And she said, well, I'll be seeing you again. And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, of course. And she goes, us mountain women have to stick together, don't we? And I was like, is this my whole real life? Like, I remember in that moment thinking, she probably is this kind of, not probably, she 100% is this kind of everybody she meets. She's Dolly. But it changed my life because I, in that moment, went, everything you're doing is made up. Everything you're stressing about is made up. Because you'd had a million scenarios in your head of how you're going to meet Dolly. And this is a million times better than any scenario I had made up to meet Dolly Parton. So it's amazing the way God does it and lines it all up in this world. Well, no matter what you believe, there was somebody higher that lined that individual moment up that changed my life. And then I told my girlfriend Katie Cook, who is used to be one of the biggest interviewers over at CMT for years and years and years, like over 20 years. And she's interviewed Dolly hundreds of times. Dolly, she's very close with Dolly. And she proceeded to tell me that she wants to write a book called The Day I Met Dolly because everyone's story is that life-changing. And I was like, Katie Cook, if you don't write that story, write that book.
That'd be a great book.
That's what I said. I said, girl, I'll write it with you because, good Lord, I will carry on until the day I leave this earth about it because I kept going.
And did you get a chance to tell her about the Imagination Library?
I did. I said to her, I said, thank you for the Imagination Library.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, oh, honey, because, you don't realize what something that small like that. My town gets the Imagination Library. If your town doesn't, just write to Imagination Library and help a small child. But people don't realize how amazing she gives back. I just said it to her. I said to her about the Imagination Library, and she was like, oh, honey, I love doing it. Like, it's Dolly. She's just grace personified. And I was also how much I was out to lunch. I was also aware of her time, if that makes sense. Like, as much as I was like, oh my gosh, it's Dolly, I tend to read the room, although I'm going long right now. I tend to read the room in that moment where I was like, I don't have a lot of time with her. I was very aware of thank you. I can't believe we're here. You were just inclusive. That's all I needed. We don't need to carry on more than this.
I got my sign.
Yeah, I got my sign, and it was right before, to give you the reason she was there, it was right before her second Christmas special was coming back out, because she did the Coat of Many Colors, and then she did a second one, and I forgot what it was called, sorry. But it was right before that second one came out. I think it was the second one. Anyway, that was what she was there promoting. So that's why she was there on an Emmy weekend. If somebody's like, "Well, was Dolly there?" I thought the same thing, but I had to deep dive it. I'll tell you why God did that. That's why Dolly was.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because I'd be back at the funeral home, back combing somebody's fluff on a pillow if it would not have been for Dolly that day. Because I was ready to pack it up so badly.
Didn't make a sign that was hard to get. Yeah, right.
I'm the queen of talking myself out of signs when I ask for a sign. I don't know if anybody else is like that. I'm like, I'm like,
give me a sign. I need a signier sign. Yeah,
I need a signier sign. If you could just give me a signier sign. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Give me a sign that was the sign.
Yes. I don't know if that was really it. And I had that moment where I was like, okay.
You can't deny that.
Yeah, it's Dolly. I'm like, I'll always say, God, use me for what you want me to do. Like, if you want me to be a goat herder in New Zealand, let's go. I'll be darling at it if it's what I'm called to do. But every time I always say that, God will do something that's like, hold on, girl. So that to me was that real, because I had the full, like, I'm moving. This is it. I can't do this anymore. And sure enough,
and then Dolly shows up. I mean, what can
Dolly.
you do?
Hey. Dolly, who is that for you? Who is the person that you've met? Because I know you've had everybody, from everything from sports to movies. Who's been the person for you that you definitely, I love that question, that you were like, okay, I'm a little.
I'm like you. I'm not easily starstruck.
No, you're not.
Because neither one of us are, and I did meet Reese backstage at the Ryman,
right.
But again, it didn't feel like a starstruck thing. It just felt like just an admiration of not only movies that she's done that I've loved, but also. More about how she took control of, there's no parts for women, so I'm going to create them. I'm going to take control of this myself. And so I just have a lot of admiration for her. But in terms of actually being starstruck, I haven't met Dolly, so I can't, I think I would if I met Dolly, if I met Pink, probably.
Oh, yeah, we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
Oprah, I would probably, I'll tell you right now, you're right. Oprah's one that I'd probably just bust into tears, because I feel like Oprah helped raise me, because I had a single mom, and that's pretty much, I came home from school and watched Oprah show. So I'm with you on that. Like, I feel like Oprah, I might just start crying. I'll be like,
and it's almost more like that than just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have felt that way with Maya Angelou. I mean, anybody like that I just revere a lot, But and as far as Pink goes, I just have so much.
She's a bad mamma jamma.
Yeah, that's it. She just is, and so
she just is. I'll be that way about Stevie Nicks. I will tell people I've met Stevie Nicks when I waited tables in Arizona, but I didn't have the forethought. I was too young, maybe. Like, I was like, in my head, I probably thought, because I don't know if she still does. She used to live in Scottsdale, and I went to school at Arizona State, and I waited tables, and I met her there. And she was absolutely lovely. But in my head, I don't think I realized, this is absolutely insane to say this, like, who Stevie Nicks was at the time.
Yeah.
Does that,
right? Well, that's been a while back. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I was I think I was young and ignorant, really. I don't think I had the real revelation of, like, are you kidding me? And you're who I listen to 99.9% of the time, and, like, that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
To actually, like, meet and have a conversation is probably different than, hey, is this your side of avocado? I did not meet Stevie Nicks. But, yeah, that's when you go, okay. Yeah, I would probably get a little excited. Isn't that funny? They're both music. You know what, though? I'd probably freak out over Carol Burnett.
Oh, me too. I would. Well, again, it would be like, you're the queen.
I'm not worthy.
Yeah,
you're the
yeah,
queen.
Right.
I mean,
Oh, I would love to. I would love to meet Carol.
I will say back in the day, I think I told you this. I used to be writing partners with. Oh no, who did I tell this to? I think it was Angela Johnson's podcast, and we were talking about it. I was writing partners with Tim Conway from Carol Burnett Show.
Oh my gosh,
his not Tim Conway. I was not writing partners with Tim Conway.
Yeah,
I was writing partners with his stepdaughter Jackie.
Stepdaughter. Oh,
and so I got to be around Tim quite a bit, and I'm so grateful because Tim Conway, he was one of the funniest human beings. It broke my heart when he passed away. I was like, not that we all don't go, but Tim was just such an amazing human being. By the way, what a lot of people don't know, he was an amazing seamstress.
Really?
His mom was a seamstress. I mean, like redid furniture covers with piping and like.
Oh, that's the last thing I expected to hear.
I know. I was like, what? And so I have a chair in my guest room, which I'll show you all someday, put a picture of, that I would find back in the day, because I'm country like that. I don't know. Good country people enjoy a good leftover by the garbage. There was a chair on the side of the road. It was a frame of this chair. It was the old wooden chair. And I was like, oh, I love this chair. And I put it in the back of my Ford Explorer, and I was headed over to, because Jackie lived with her parents. And she didn't, when I first met her, I waited tables at the Hard Rock Cafe, and Jackie was a host at the Hard Rock. And she's like, oh, I live with my parents if you want to come over and write. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And, I get over to the house, and I'd found this old chair. And she's like, oh, I live with my parents. I'd gone over there like 3 or 4 times. And then by like the 5th time, I was like, sorry I was late. I found this chair on the side of the road, and I got to figure out how I'm going to redo it. And she's like, oh, my stepdad redoes furniture. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I should ask him. And this is how I find out that Tim called.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
I walked in, and I think I've said this before, my toxic trait, I don't know if it's toxic, but when I meet someone, if I know you or don't know you, but I see you, I say your whole name. And I go, hey, Tim Conway. Because I was just like, you're Tim Conway. And I was like, hey, Tim Conway. And he's like, hello. Like, I'm Trish, Jackie's friend. And so that was it. And so he redid the chair, and I still have it.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
really
it doesn't go with my
cool.
house whatsoever. I don't care. It will be with me.
No.
Does not care. This thing will be with me always, always. So, yeah, it was just such a wonderful thing meeting him, and then got to meet Harvey Korman on top of that. And my life was forever changed because they were a big part of my youth. And here I am in my 20s, like goobering over Tim Conway and Harvey Korman. Did not get to meet Vicki Lawrence, did not meet Carol, but when that happens, because I'm going to put that into the universe that God lets me meet her before she leaves this earth, before either of us leave this earth, I think she's genius, an absolute
genius. They were all genius.
Genius.
And when they broke each other up were the funniest moments of all. It's just brilliant. Yeah.
It's what made me always want to do. I didn't know that I would do stand-up per se. I enjoyed, my favorite part of the Carol Burnett Show was everybody together, so I loved an ensemble. But I also loved her end of show. I loved at the end when she took questions from the audience.
Yeah.
And I didn't know why, or was that beginning of show? I thought that was end of
beginning.
show.
I think beginning. Yep.
The beginning. And I loved it. Something about that to me was like, oh, I just love how fresh that feels. So I could see.
I actually saw her in Atlanta. I didn't meet her, but I just attended an evening with Carol Burnett, and so she took questions, and so it was really cool, and it was just like her opening, only for like an hour and a half, and she told great stories, and it was wonderful.
I would have freaked out. It'd have been hard for me to hold still. That'd have been Okay. Do I have one more? Can I ask you one more, and then we'll go, y'all? Sorry, we had a long one, but I enjoyed every second of it. Okay. Wait, where's my other one for Kay? I had a quick. Well, let me do these. These are easy, I think, but I thought they'd be fun. These are my rapid fire.
Okay. Oh, no.
These are easy. We'll start with an easy one. Dogs or cats?
Well, now I've rescued both, but dogs are my heart. And,
I figured. I'm not making you choose any animal. Karen's like, porcupine.
No, that's right.
But if I was going to say, if you had to, I assumed dogs, but I thought I'd ask. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Okay, sweet or salty?
I'm too sweet, even to a fault, I think. But that's how I present. That's how I want. That's my pleasing aspect of me. But because I can't be hateful to anybody, even if they deserve it. Yeah.
It's so true. You're sweet with like like just a little bit. If somebody put like a garnish of salt, you're like a good sea salt caramel on top of a good candy bar.
And I don't even know that I would describe myself as sweet. I'm kind.
You're very kind, but I always think you're sweet. That's sweet.
You do?
Yeah, kind. It's sweet. I think that's sweet. What is your most used emoji?
My most used is probably a toss-up between heart and laugh till you cry, and I'm never laughing that hard, but it's just... but I'll throw it in there if it's humorous at all. They need a kind of a chuckle emoji. Not like,
They do need like a good one. Like they need as a comic, if they made one that said that's funny.
Yeah, you're right. Because that's us cracking up.
Yeah, that's us at high laugh. That's why when I wrote the question about you about when have you laughed till you cried, I was like, literally, you're the only person I've ever been with as an adult that I can genuinely remember laughing till I cried.
One other time that I laughed so hard that I should send that picture, but I could not breathe, and it was so stupid. We just a whole big group of us had gone to hear my friends have a band. It's Priscilla and Little Ricky is the name of their band, and it's all female. And we'd gone to hear them, and on one of their breaks, we knew everybody there, and so a group of us were getting together to do a picture. Well, we asked somebody to come over and take a picture. So there's probably 8 people in the picture. So the person who has to come take a picture, she takes a picture, and then someone else goes, or probably 12, 13 people in the picture. But she takes a picture, and then someone else goes, you get in the picture. And they come out to take it. And they took the picture. And then when that finished, someone else pops out and goes, you get in the picture. So we started it kept going, and we were getting so tickled. I mean, it's not that funny to tell it, but none of us could breathe. And when you see the picture, you can see tears in everybody's eyes that we were laughing so hard because it was so spontaneous. No one was planning that we keep swapping out. Yeah. Well, let me take it. You get in. And so
it became the Olin Mills Portrait Studio.
It was hilarious. It was
configuration. I love you. Oh, Lord. Wait, one more. Where's one more? I have one more. Oh, what was your first car?
My first car was a wrecked Vega.
No, ma'am.
Do you remember that car?
I totally do, just because there was one on blocks down by, I know what a Vega is. If y'all don't know what a Vega is, I can't even describe a Vega. I was about to say it like a gremlin, but it's not even like a gremlin.
Vega, it was navy blue. Somebody my dad knew had it, and I'd just gotten my license, and the whole passenger side.
Pinto, that's what I meant to say, not a gremlin.
Yeah, it's similar looking to a Pinto. Yeah.
I'm putting it up on the screen for those of you who aren't watching. It's a 75. I just pulled up a 75 Vega.
And then I got, and the passenger door had been wrecked, and so it wouldn't open. I didn't have it very long, but. And then I got a Mustang after that one.
A Vega. Why did he give you the wrecked one? Because he wanted to see if you'd be okay driving.
Well, no, actually, he just had a friend that he was looking for anything that ran for me to be able to run around in because they were tired of hauling me everywhere to softball practice and everything else. What was your first? Yeah. So, he said, well, Joe's got a Vega. It's been wrecked, but he'll get you there. And I'm like, all right, bring it on. Nobody worried if anything happened. I couldn't get out the other door.
Don't worry, we're just on this side.
Nobody's
riding with you.
Yeah. What was your first car?
Oh, mine. Good Lord. I'm the first grandkid, so I kind of got and my mom's the youngest. I'm sorry, my mom's the oldest of 5 kids, so I got I always say I was like the 6th kid. So I got what my Uncle Bill was kind of done with at the time, and so he was done with a 1985 2-door Bronco. And so,
we do not have that now.
Oh God, I loved that car. It was black and red and gray, like a silver. And I loved that it was big as all get out, and it probably got 2 miles to the gallon.
Sure.
It was massive. And then my mom was like, "That's too much car." My papa was like, "No, it's not. She needs all that sheet metal around her." He liked a lot of sheet metal around everybody.
Yeah. Well, growing up in funeral business.
Yeah, the more car that could get hit before you.
Yeah,
so
more protective.
That was it. And then after that, my mom was like, "She needs something smaller." So I got. They made the mistake of saying, "However much money you save, we'll match it." Don't say that to me. Honey, I saved like I was literally going away to school in Switzerland. And so I ended up getting, at the time, a Ford Escort in electric blue that was like brand new, whatever year it was, right? Like 1992. I don't remember. It was like, I thought I was hip as could be. It was electric blue Ford Escort. And everybody called it my Blueberry. And that was my car.
I don't know if I've told this story. I'll make it quick because we're running out of time. But did I tell you when I learned to drive about that car story? Okay. First of all, I learned to drive on my dad's little Opel.
What's an Opel? I don't know. I gotta look it
up.
Okay.
Oh, honey, that really dates me because it's I think it was push button. Well, now we're back to push button, but there was like all the buttons were on the dash.
Oh, it was a German car. Oh, that's cool, Kay.
So,
like that? Did it look like that?
No, that's the sports version.
Oh, okay. She's like, no, not even close.
No, my dad, it was a little boxy, little.
Oh, no, that's not it. That says it's a Buick. Oh, was it this?
Yes.
Oh, y'all, this is so good. Wait, and this was This was an ad from the 70s. Do you want to know how much this says it was?
What?
$1,877. An Opel Kadett 2-door.
That's it. So I learned to drive on that, which is a small car, and so I was driving when I was 13 years old, so I was all over the place in that little thing, and but I didn't get the day I turned 16, I got my license, and I rushed home because I wouldn't, even when I say I drove on our property, and we lived on the farm and all that. So I get my license. I rush home. I'm dying to go to the ballpark and show off because that's where everybody hung out.
Sure.
So I am like just antsy to get in that car and go driving out there. Okay, I get home. My dad's not there. So I went in and asked my mom if I could take her car because I just couldn't wait. And she didn't think it was a good idea because it's a lot bigger and I'd never driven it. But I begged and cried and wallered and whined till finally I beat her down. She turned over the keys. Well, I get out there in this big Bonneville.
Oh, law. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of sheet metal right there.
That's a land yacht. So I get out here. Yeah, I get out in this Bonneville, and I couldn't figure out how to pull the seat up. And I was afraid to go back in and ask because I was afraid you'd change your mind. So I got up there, way up there on the edge of that seat. There's that much room between me and the back of the seat. I mean, I was right on the edge.
Over the steering wheel. You're so tiny.
And the steering wheel was the size of a hula hoop. Yeah. And so I'm headed to the ballpark driving this thing, and when I get there, I go to turn in, and that Opel didn't have power steering.
Oh no.
But that Bonneville did.
Oh hell. Oh.
I gave that steering wheel a yank. I did a 360 inside the gate. I slung gravel all over the stands. I stopped about that far from the fence of the dugout.
Oh.
I said if that fence hadn't been there, I'd have killed both teams.
Okay. Everybody was like, well, all right, Karen Mills, she's a bad mamma jamma. Just getting that. Just you Dukes of Hazzard that with a 360
I did.
and a gravel.
I gave it that because I was used to having to cranked that Opel, and I mean, I did a 360.
Did you get out all casual? Like, how does one handle?
Oh yeah, like,
yeah,
I'm here.
I'm here. Pass my license, pass my test. That is awesome. See, now that's a story I did not. I should have asked that, but see, we got there from first car. Because had I not asked that, that's one of my favorite stories now. So wait, were you scared going home, and did you have?
I was.
I was going to say I've been terrified.
I was nervous. I was just like, oh. Yeah,
that's a phenomenal story. Y'all, thank you for going through all this with Kay and I today. And I'm going to now, so I have to put the picture up of the Opel. I'm going to put up this one. Oh, this is a good one too. It's called the Mini Brute. Is that it too?
It was more like the boxy one. Yeah.
Oh, look, this was maybe the next year because it went up in price, 19.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Only it was white, but it looks like a car a child would draw. If you're drawing a car.
Oh my gosh, that is the best example of what this looks like. I'm going to try to find a white one, but I'm going to post that so y'all can see it. I will definitely put up so y'all can laugh like we do at the Kristen Wiig, Will Ferrell.
Yes, but
you have to see it, the YouTube clip. It's one of the best there is of all time. So thanks for sitting through this with us. We loved having y'all.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
We did. I mean, we had a ball. I did. We sure love you guys. Karen, where can everybody find you?
KarenMills.com. We'll take you to all my socials. Karen Mills Comedy are my socials. So
you can come out and see Kay. She's going to be out and about this week. I start back in September, everybody. Almost done with my August hiatus.
Yeah.
If you need me, I'm at Trish Suhr at everything, or at TrishSuhr.com. You can find all my socials. You can find everything.
Tour dates, everything.
Tour dates.
So, yeah, please come see us on the road.